Hello and welcome everyone to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hambar. It's funny actually. I just got done recording another video, not for this channel. I started a new channel for something very specific, a project. I thought I'd mention it here just in case anyone's interested. I would imagine most people are not. Um, but that video actually introducing that channel comes out tomorrow, the same day as this. In fact, it's out before this video. Essentially, I'm going to be translating old English sermons into modern English. I'll be reciting the old English with the modern English, my translation, up with them, but then I'll also be doing follow-up lectures, mostly covering just linguistic stuff, philological aspects of the sermon itself. But it's going to be on a separate channel. Don't worry about it. It's just going to be one of my big projects for next year. Don't worry about it if you don't want to, but I'm going to mention it here. I'm really tired, so I'm going to keep this weekly update, though, short. I finished 4 books really tight. I finished, like, the 4th book, like, right before I filmed that last video. But 2 of the books I don't have with me, so I'll mention them real quick. I finished The Light Ages by Seth Falk, I think is his name. I don't know. What's funny is that this is almost like just a biography of John Westwick. John of Westwick, whatever. It's like scientific look at the Middle Ages, right? As opposed to the Dark Ages, it's the Light Ages. It's pretty late medieval, but it's also really informative, and you really get the idea of how science is connected to things like philosophy and things like theology in the Middle Ages, as opposed to a very separate thing that we kind of have now. But it's still very much connected to the science we have now and how much the people in the Middle Ages thought scientifically, right? And they discovered lots of useful information that we use today, right? So it's good for that. And honestly, I didn't really know who John Westwick was at all, so that was nice to learn of a figure like that. Yeah, it also looks at it's nice when he quotes like specific things. It also learned some things like the Bishop's Crusade and whatnot. Anyways, it was fun. I also finished Children of the Cold Moon by the Long-Winded One. The Long-Winded One has created a podcast. I think he's on the 5th season now. I think I've listened to the first 4. Very much enjoyed them for years. His new thing he's doing, though, is lit RPG, and I'm not a big fan of lit RPG, but I read his book anyways, and I enjoyed it. I didn't really enjoy the lit RPG aspects, so I'll be honest about that. My review is a little critical of the genre, but not so much the book. I did enjoy the book. I liked it was mixed with Irish myth, which works well enough. So, anyways, that is the first book I finished. Review's already out. The second book I finished, the first fictional book. The next one I finished, that'll probably be getting a review very shortly, hopefully this week, because it was a buddy read for November. I finished it in December, but that was The Wizard by Gene Wolfe. I read The Night, if you remember, in October. This is probably, I think I mentioned this last week, probably going to make my top 10 for the year. Really stinking good. I love it. Wolfe is very different. If you aren't expecting it, you might not enjoy it that much. I felt like this was almost written for me. Like, it just seems like a love letter to fantasy, to medieval literature, early medieval, high medieval, like romances, earlier stuff, kind of like to Tolkien. So good. There's so much in here. It's phenomenal. I love it. It's great. Awesome. You got to read The Wizard Knight, guys. Anyways, I'll have more thoughts on that for my review. Actually, I have very few thoughts in my review so far that I haven't finished my script, if you would. I might have to look at more stuff to fill it up more, because most of my thoughts are still kind of the same as the Knights. So that happens sometimes with sequels where I have more to say on the first book and less to say on following books. Anyways, so that was the 3rd book, though. And then the 4th book I finished was The Ring of Winter by James Lowder. It was a fun adventure in the Forgotten Realms. Not a great adventure, but fun. Over in Cholt. It actually starts in Cormyr. There's some cool things going on. There's always some things I feel like that's useful, not always, but almost always in a Forgotten Realms book or a D&D book, where I'm like, hey, I could potentially use that in my game, or even something I'd be like, yeah, that's interesting, right? Even if it's something small like that. I feel like it's a good use of my time. I'm actually getting closer to finishing the Harper series. This book is a standalone. as far as I'm aware. But it is technically put it back on the bookshelf already. It's technically part of a series called The Harpers, 16 books. I've read book 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 now, because that was number 5. 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16. So I think I have 5 left, if I'm doing my math correctly. And it's a big series. So, anyways, that's one of my next Forgotten Realms series I really want to finish. Another one is a book I'm still in the middle of. I wasn't very far last week. I'm much further this week. I'm very much enjoying this book. This is a very good one. The final book in the Songs and Swords series. It was supposed to get another book. It's kind of an open-ended series, but that other book did not happen. Probably never will, because Wizards of the Coast hates me. Anyways, so the Dream Spheres, very enjoyable. I just really can sink into this one. Set water deep for the most part. Oh, it's just nice to see Erlen and Danilo, however you say his name, back together again, as they kind of had separate adventures in the last few books. It's so good. I like this one. I'm very excited to see where it goes, because I'm interested. Cunningham is really good. I think she's a great author, honestly. I'm convinced. So, anyways. Besides that, I haven't read too much of other things. Let's see. I am actually making good progress in of Arthur and Merlin. End of Merlin, which is a medieval romance. Actually, the first Arthurian romance written in English. Rather old. I'm reading it in the original Middle English. I have less than 1,000 lines left, so I'm getting close. This actually has about the same amount of lines, so it's a little less than 10,000 lines of Arthur and of Merlin. This is like right around 9,000, I think. Let's see. This is a little 9,235 or so. Percival by Chrétien de Troyes. I actually should have finished this one this week. It'd be really easy for me too. I have 70 pages left, but really quick read. I need to finish it. I think I'll finish it this week. I'm really tired, guys. And then I think that's it as far as books. Reading has slowed down somewhat. I'm busy with making money, trying to, and just with projects I leave myself, and then projects I have for like work study and stuff, which didn't slow down at all, even though the semester's over. Anyways, I did get one book. This is the first book I've gotten in months. I have not had money for books. Just to be blunt. Sorry you get to see this view of my face. But I went and donated plasma and extra time so I could afford this book. Which just came out, the English Catholic Comedies Series 1. The first time they've been compiled with the Old English and the translation and the whole complete translation of Series 1, the first time in 180 years. That's crazy. And it came out in October of this year. So what a time to be alive, everybody. Roy Louisa, or however you say his name. This will be a useful tool, I think, for my project. So anyways, I'm going to go to bed. Let me know what you guys have been up to. I realize I haven't really done a Wednesday video in a while. I feel like my interaction on here has gone way down lately. I very much has felt excluded in a sense from BookTube lately. I could keep up my reviews, but maybe I'll have Wednesday videos again soon. Hopefully. It just depends on what I want to say or what I don't.